Sounds good. There's a lot of reasons we need nuclear to combat climate change. Number one, historically, it is the fastest we've ever added energy per person per year. It's just when you build a reactor, it's a lot of power. And it's not just power for 20 to 30 years like renewables, where you have to build them again after that period of time. It's power for 60, 80, now even some of the plants in the US are being extended to 100 years. So it's really a gift to future generations of good jobs, clean air, and better climate. So we absolutely need it. Nuclear energy runs all the time, just flat out. For up to 18 months at a time. You don't have to worry about rain, clouds or calmness or nighttime. It just keeps splitting atoms, making a lot of heat that we turn into power. And we're going to need that because our society needs energy 24/7. We need, our hospitals need to be able to keep ventilators running. We can't harmonize with nature like we were forced to in the past, because humans need power all the time in order to survive and thrive. Solar, wind, and water will help us. The reason I think we should do more nuclear than those is because I'm an environmentalist. I worry about damming up every single river so that fish can't get up it and spawn. I worry about covering large tracts of land with solar panels or wind turbines when there are migratory birds and bats that are coming through, or even offshore wind, which the noise that is created by the turbines is very disruptive to the ocean creatures that are trying to thrive and reproduce in the ocean. So nuclear energy, the footprint is just tiny. You need so little land to produce a ton of power, and you need to mine so little raw materials compared to everything else. So I think if we want to both have a prosperous society that has reliable, affordable electricity, and keep nature, keep it wild, let animals be animals out in the environment, then we need nuclear. Yeah. I think you can come up with ways that nuclear energy addresses every single sustainable development goal. But just to speak to a couple, number one, climate change. Clearly, it's going to address that. Two, clean energy, so getting rid of air pollution. Clean water. A lot of places in the world struggle with reliable access to clean water, but with a nuclear plant, you can desalinate as much water as you need. I did the math for the state of California, which often experiences droughts. You would just need 15 Diablo Canyons, the reactor they have there, to provide 100% of the water that state needs for people, for agriculture, for everything. Of course, we wouldn't need that because it still is going to rain at some point, but it just goes to show how much energy comes from so few plants. And so that's clean water. There's also economics. You look around all the different nuclear plants in the U.S., around the world, in the surrounding communities, the schools are better. The local theaters, the sports team has the newest equipment and gear and the best stadiums, because these are prosperity machines. They take this relatively abundant rock and turn it into clean electricity and money for the surrounding community, and great jobs, which, man, what other job do you not even need a college degree to make so much money, get a pension, all this thing. It's really the just transition that we are talking about, we want, but it's already been here for 40, 50 years. Let's see, were there any other SDGs? One of the goals, the second goal, is zero hunger around the world. And with nuclear power, we can, with that desalinated water, with perhaps aquaponics, hydroponics, growing crops indoors, there's no reason we need to starve. Even if we have very little land to produce, we can build vertical farms. There's really, once you unlock that level of energy, there's no problem that can't be solved with nuclear technology. I was thrilled to hear about Prime Minister Kishida's plan to restart a lot of the reactors that were shut down after Fukushima. The only thing is I wish it would have happened sooner, because I know that the last decade has been really tough for the Japanese people, having to reduce their electricity consumption in order to have enough for everyone. And I know it's been expensive too, having to import all that coal and natural gas from Australia and other places. I'm thrilled to hear that a lot of those reactors will be restarted. And I think it's just the first step to the second nuclear era for Japan, where we're building new reactors to replace those new natural gas facilities and old coal facilities that are still burning and producing carbon emissions and pollution. I'd love to see a nuclear plant in every footprint of an existing fossil fuel plant in Japan, and Japan kind of re-seize their domestic energy supply, because they were amazing. The nuclear build-out was very fast. Those plants, by and large, were run incredibly well. And it's too bad, that freak accident, the earthquake and tsunami, brought down Fukushima. I think for me the bigger tragedy is obviously all the people that died in the tsunami, and then those that died in a very panicked evacuation that now, looking back with hindsight, we see that it probably didn't need to happen for the level of radiation that was actually released. People probably could have stayed in place. People could still be living in the exclusion zone today if we had reacted a little bit differently. But that's tough, and I don't envy the decision makers who are put in the place to try to respond to that tragedy. But I think now Japan is taking all the right steps, and I can't wait to see what they do over the next decade and beyond that, because I think it's going to be, again, one of the success stories for nuclear energy and for a country to take control, take sovereignty of their energy system and make it clean, reliable, affordable for everyone going forth.